On today's episode of Billionaires Making Poor People Decisions.
This entire A$AP Rocky case could literally be the end of his career. I want to talk a little bit about the situation A$AP Rocky currently has found himself in. This is a case I actually covered 2 years ago, but there's not only been a lot of updates to the story since then, but there's currently a trial that's ongoing as we speak.
So you see A$AP, also known as Rakeem Mayers, arriving at court as day one of the trial got started. Prosecutors accuse A$AP Rocky of pulling out a gun and shooting at an old friend known as A$AP Relly during an argument back in 2021.
Now let's take a look at this entire story, okay? This shooting in question that A$AP Rocky is currently in trial for. So let's take a look at what happened. Let's look at the story in itself, Rocky's response, the trial, and allow me to give you a breakdown of what you need to know. So first of all, I think most people are familiar with A$AP Rocky, a rapper, songwriter, producer, a prolific artist in hip-hop who has the respect of many. Back in April 2022, A$AP Rocky was arrested upon arriving to Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, in connection with a shooting that happened that previous year in November. Rocky was at the time arriving on a private plane from Barbados, where he had been on a vacation with his then girlfriend, Rihanna, who we all of course know. According to multiple sources at the scene, Rihanna was actually with Rocky when he was arrested, and a search warrant was then executed at his Los Angeles residence. Rocky was booked into jail at 12:42 p.m. that day, and his bail was set to $550,000. He was then released less than 3 hours later.
Rihanna went ahead and paid that $550K? $550K? You know Rihanna in love with that dude. Somebody had to pay that $550K. I know it wasn't him. I ain't trying to call him broke. If you broke, just say that. I ain't saying he broke. But we all know Rihanna's the billionaire. $550K to get him out of, he was released from jail 3 days later. Woo! That you could pull $550K out like it's $20 out your wallet or something.
Post and bond. And this is when we get into the actual story. It was reported that A$AP Rocky, a real name Rakeem Mayers, was the suspect in a shooting that took place on November 6, 2021 near Vista Del Mar and Selma Avenue in Los Angeles. The incident occurred at 10:20 p.m. on that day, marking a pivotal moment in a long history of friendship that would take a dark turn. The victim, Terrell Efron, also recognized as A$AP Relly, and the defendant, Rakeem Mayers, had known each other for around 14 to 15 years. Despite their close bond, tension had been brewing for some time as a series of disagreements had begun to strain their relationship. On that Saturday evening, Efron and Rocky himself spoke over FaceTime and made plans to meet near the W Hotel in Hollywood Boulevard. Efron, walking southbound on Argyle Avenue, eventually encountered Rocky near the entrance to a parking garage. That encounter, captured partially on a nearby security camera, would become the starting point of the unfolding chaos. Now, the video footage revealed Rocky wearing a black hooded sweatshirt decorated with rhinestones, accompanied by two other individuals whom Efron was familiar with. One of them was a guy named Ills, and the other guy was Jamel Phillips, aka 12. What started as a simple meeting soon turned confrontational. According to reports, Rocky walked towards Efron and said, "What's up?" And if you're from New York, you already know that when someone says what's up, it's not just a greeting, it's a signal that means shit's about to get real. Now things escalated quickly, and Rocky, who was a big man, ended up storming towards Terrell and grabbed him by the collar of his sweatshirt. Before A$AP Relly could react, Rocky shoved him backwards, and one of the people present, Mr. Ulanger, who saw what was happening, tried to step in, telling Rocky to stop and separating them as best as he could. But Rocky wasn't done, okay? He pulled a black semi-automatic handgun from his waistband and aimed it straight at Efron. With anger in his voice, Rocky threatened, "I'll kill you right now," while pressing the gun hard into A$AP Relly. It was a moment of pure tension, but Mr. Ulanger managed to separate them before things got worse. After the confrontation, Rocky put the gun back in his waistband and walked away.
Hold on, bro. So let me get this clear. He's dealing with everything he's dealing with in court. He had to pay $550,000. Rihanna had to pay $550,000. Just because him and his homie or former homie got into a situation and he pulled, but he didn't actually shoot. Nah, but that is crazy. Like putting that blicky to somebody is crazy.
Avenue towards Selma Avenue. As he walked off, Efron noticed A$AP 12 holding a pocket knife, but 12 wasn't staying. He took off, following Rocky down the street. Now A$AP Relly, the victim in question, was dumb enough to want some more smoke, and boy wasn't backing down, and boy was that a mistake. So he decided to walk behind Rocky as Rocky was walking away. Obviously, he was still upset and wanted to address the issue he had with Rocky, hoping to resolve some of the tension between them. A few seconds later, Rocky and them walked south on Argyle Avenue. They turned left onto Selma Avenue, heading east until they came close to an intersection nearby. Rocky, who was ahead of the group, waited for the others to catch up, and as soon as they arrived, Bam! Rocky turned around and fired shots at ASAP Rocky, who was approximately 16 feet away from him. Rocky immediately felt the heat on his hands, okay, like something had hit him, and it wasn't long before he realized he'd been hit. 3 of his left hand knuckles had been grazed by the bullet. Now the tension at this moment...
All right, so obviously I was wrong. I didn't know I was wrong, so I didn't know, okay? I thought it was just because he got angry, yelled, and put the blicky to him, but didn't pull the blicky. I thought he just put the blicky to him, didn't pull the trigger, then walked away, and I thought he was dealing with all that consequence from that. But obviously that's not the situation.
Was apparently scared shitless. Okay, I would too if Rocky was like shooting at me and shit, allegedly, right? So he then quickly moved behind one of the people who Rocky was with and used them as a shield between himself and Rocky. Now Rocky said, "I want some mo," okay? In other words, he wasn't done. He kind of moved back and forth trying to find an opening to fire, allegedly, and at the same time Rocky was also trying to close the gap between them, and he did all this while trying to get closer to ASAP Rocky. Now Rocky then fired off some
Mo shots,
but none of these hit ASAP Rocky. Lucky for him. Rocky made his way back to his hotel to regroup from the trauma Rocky had put him through. About 52 minutes later, he returned to the side of the shooting, and there the boy found 2 expended cartridge cases on the ground. Cartridge cases, by the way, are the empty shells left behind after a gunshot is fired, essentially the part that holds the bullet before it's expelled from the gun. So Relly picked them up and handed them to the popo, okay?
That street code went right out the window when niggas is looking for a payday. The street code, I thought the street code was no snitching. Somebody who was tough literally went straight to the police and snitched on ASAP Rocky. Guess what? I understand. I'm a civilian. I would snitch too. But I ain't out here trying to act like I'm tougher than what I am, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? He is acting like he is the tough guy. Then when ASAP Rocky does some tough stuff, he goes to the police.
After everything went down, the evidence in the preliminary hearing made it clear there was enough evidence to believe that Rocky actually did what he's being charged with. Now here's how the law works with the Penal Code Section 245, Subdivision B, which deals with assault using a semi-automatic firearm. To break it down, Rocky used a semi-automatic firearm in a way that could have seriously hurt someone. He did it on purpose. It wasn't on accident. When he pulled the trigger, he knew that it would probably harm someone. He had the ability to hurt someone with that firearm, and he wasn't acting in self-defense or protecting anyone else. It was just him acting out. All these elements came together, and that's what built the case for the charges against ASAP Rocky. So everything we just talked about is why ASAP Rocky is making headlines right now. Honestly, the story hasn't blown up as much as I expected it to blow up. Considering, you know, Rocky's status as a major figure in music, I thought it would get way more attention, being honest with you. Especially considering the fact that, you know, he's together with one of the biggest musicians of this generation.
Well, yes, we know he's with Rihanna, but the truth of the matter, the reason why it's not getting as much attention as you think it should get, because number one, don't nobody really listen to ASAP Rocky. Let's just keep it 100. All right, let's just keep it a stack. Ain't nobody really checking for ASAP Rocky's music. You know what I'm saying? The only reason he's still relevant is because he's with Rihanna. If he wasn't with Rihanna, we wouldn't be hearing about him. I mean, I really wasn't hearing about him before Rihanna. I heard about him on an underground type thing, but nobody ever really, yeah, play that ASAP Rocky. Who's saying that? Number two, Trump is signing executive orders every single day, like he's signing signatures. Trump is doing stuff every single day that's getting headlines. I can guarantee you, people ain't paying attention to what's going on with ASAP Rocky. They don't care, because Trump is the president now, and he just became the president like a week or two ago, so it's still fresh to everybody, you know. And then he's doing a lot, so I think that's taking the attention of the headlines, in my opinion. Moral of the story with this is, bro, think about what you do before you do it. And this can apply to anybody. I'd rather make decisions that will change things for the better, make me more money, make me more close friends, you know, make me closer relationships with people, quality relationships, quality experiences and things like that, staying away from negative people. You know, he could have literally, he's with a billionaire. I know I keep saying it, but it's like, how many people you know are married to a billionaire? That's a man. We know about some women who somehow marry a billionaire man, but a man who marries a billionaire woman and you still out there thugging. Bro, go kick it with your billionaire friends. Homie probably still living in an apartment and you still sitting there going back and forth with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just don't make no sense.